welcome to the World Builders Library. You know it by the intro. Yes, we're back into the wildly popular economic world building series where we follow the four-woman adventuring team known as the Ponderosa Posse as they dedicate their careers to the development of a town named Armitage. I'm Lewis Nichols and I'm your guide in this endeavor. If you're not familiar with this playlist, return to start. Do not pass go. Do not collect. You know, I could seriously be making some Monopoly references here. Missed opportunity or missed copyright infringement? You decide for now. The courts will chime in later. Let's get the algorithm stuff out of the way, because I know you're listening. Hey Algo, this is for Dungeons & Dragons. It has to do with world building. It's for 5th edition, 2024 rules. However, it will work with little modification for any TTRPG. If you as the viewer want to help out, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment. If you're all in, at the end of the video, hit the link to the next video. If you do none of these things, I'm still glad that you're here. Alright, should just be the regular viewers now. No mercy if you didn't follow my advice. We're going to resolve last year's budget. We're going to talk about character actions. We're going to get into some economic theory. And, well, these scripts tend to evolve naturally. But if we don't get distracted, we're going to do a first take on agriculture. So far, for our purposes, almost the whole economic activity of Armitage is the mine. It's where the people work. It's the only generator of income for the city budget. You all know the formula. 3d6 minus 3d4 times 1,000. 13 on the 3d6. We can't lose money, but will it be that amazing year we all dream of? Oh, here we go again. 4 on the first d4. Oh, a 1 and a 2. That's 13 minus 7 for 6,000 gold in profit. Stay away, thieves. Plus the 3,000 banked from last year is going to give us a tentative budget of 9,000 gold for this coming planning season. In-game take. Optimism has been growing all year as a new vein of rich ore has been discovered. This makes me really want to see if our mine's development score has increased. Are the dice going to align, or are we going to have to come up with some crazy explanation about record profits and a mining failure? Let's roll. Oh, a 3 on the dice, no mods. But, meets it beats it. Advantages to a low bar. You can make a whole story here, but you don't have to. Maybe there was an ooze that slowed down work, but defeating it revealed the new vein. Maybe it was just an overall bad year as far as the electrum goes, but then there was a pocket of diamonds to save the day. Alright, let's not get bogged down. How about the security investment roll? Another 3. But again, we suck, so the score goes up. Amenities. Walking on ice. A 5. It goes up. What about our experts? We assigned one in industry. Oh my goodness. I really am rolling a d20. This is a 4 on the dice, plus 2. Still goes up. Now, I'm not going to cover the development of individual businesses every episode. We covered that last episode. Maybe we'll do it 1 out of every 2 or 3, and an occasional dedicated show. Alright, last expert. Infrastructure. Oh, 17. The dice can roll over a 5. 17 plus 4. It definitely goes up. For now, it's easy. Supposed to be anyway. But after another few episodes, we're going to start missing some of these. You know, when we need more than a 3. Here's the updated chart. Next up, we've built up the markets a little bit, put in some low walls, and built a central structure where we can charge a little rent to the traders. This gives us a new option at each planning phase. Charge or not charge, and how much to charge. Now this structure is not just a covered space for sales, but it has secure storage and rooms where merchants can throw down a bedroll and sleep indoors. Subject number 3. What did the party accomplish this year? Now, if you're running this campaign, you're going to play it out. But for our series, this is just a thought experiment, so the dice still rule. We know they didn't solve last episode's crime because they're chasing the wrong breadcrumbs. Let's make a diplomacy roll as they've been dealing with the tribals in the south. I need a new dice. Okay, you know what? This makes sense. The party goes down, and despite some pretty good charismas, they are in fact accusing these people of being involved in something they did not do. It was a natural one, by the way, on that dice. So now relations are extremely strained, and we have a whole new storyline to keep track of. Our yearly security roll seems appropriate here. I'm going to be warning my players that despite the problems, it's going to become even more difficult. Soon, a DC system will be put in place, and with current numbers, it's going to nearly guarantee a yearly loss. A little bit of corruption, a little bit of crime. It might not be a lot most years, but it's always going to be there. Great googly moogly, I rolled a 20. Now, I don't feel like a score increase fits right here, but I will push back that DC system for another year. And of course, no losses. Next, trade. Come on, it's going to be a 1 or a 20. That's the way it's been going all day. Oh, back to a 3. With penalties, it's bad. That's 6,000 in profit. We decided that some of it was diamonds, and they are unable to move that product. There's just no merchants interested. But we're going to get into it a little bit later. This trade roll is going to hurt us in other ways as well. Finally, amenities, which we are using for town growth. That's an 8 with a penalty of 3. The town is still in a grace period. The people are poor. They don't have a lot of options. Things are better for most of them. But that 3 still means growth is flat. Another bad year, and there will be ramifications. Just a quick thought, little segue. There are a million ways that a DM might interpret all these rolls. You are piecing together a jigsaw based on the dice and the pleading of your PCs. Be decisive, but let your players make their cases. Don't sweat the details, but don't be afraid of letting bad things happen. The point of this game is to overcome challenges. Back to the party. They spent half the year in Armitage. Now I'm going to make a roll for Angela, but I'm only going to explain why if she makes it. This is Investigation DC 20. Oh, I'm done. This is ridiculous. However, as mean as the dice are being to me, I had a 13th level character today, and he failed 3 consecutive DC 16 con saves. He got turned to stone for a while. Let's press on and talk about last year's amenities investment. The town now has a guild hall for the miners, which is pretty much the whole town. It's got a few rooms on the second floor where injured and otherwise retired miners can stay. But for the most part, this is a tavern. It offers a free round of drinks after every shift and will be decorated with banners and iconography aligned with the men and women who work the mines. It's not intended to make money, it's an amenity. But we'll say it breaks even on the monthly ledger. This is about building tradition. Also, this gives us the option later to make it a money loser for the town. Maybe the miners are having a rough time of it at some point, and we're going to use this as a tool to keep their spirits up, so to speak. It can also be altered to be more profitable, depending upon how the future develops. Also under amenities, we added 6 new houses. They could be put on the market, but no one really has any money. This is not pure socialism, though. They are going to be offered at low prices to the miners based on a raffle. You can do this tons of different ways, or not decide at all. The important part is the amenity score went up, and people, overall, are happier. Fifth minor subject. Even if the players are not voicing specific actions, try to account for how the things they do might affect the town. Phyllis is a brawler. She likes hanging out with tough people. She'll arm wrestle in the bars, participate in games like wrestling and tug of war. She's a minor military leader with her barracks bastion and will take her soldiers out for occasional drills. She'll buy them drinks and just generally try to be a good boss and friend. Over time, this is going to help create a military culture, though that is a long way off. An active player like this should make a DM more willing to give the town a military tradition score. Think about security bonuses and possibly add a military development score in addition to the security score. I have similar thoughts for Madge and her gardens. Armitage is not in the middle of a desert wasteland. It's on the edge of one. It's dry grassland, savanna, but her gardening makes the town a more pleasant place. She's not a druid, but you can still plant a garden without mystical help. So I said we'd talk about agriculture. Turns out it's not going to be a big topic, not yet. But this is the introduction, this is the warm up. Honestly, in retrospect, I only added it to our score list because, well, I was using another list as a guide. Agriculture in Armitage amounts to Madge's garden and the chicken hut. Food is heavily imported. Without trade coming in, people couldn't make it out here without mining a lot less and hunting a lot more. With the low trade roll, it's going to be a lot of beans and rice this year. There is hunting enough for a small population, but it's not going to last for long. In fact, we can establish that the town has a carrying capacity of 500 without importing food or a big increase in the agricultural development score. Water is a problem, but there are solutions. Again, those come with investment, dice rolls, time, and effort. Alright, time for the planning phase. This is one of my favorite sections. The party has a treasury of 3,000 in raw ore and 6,000 in currency. They adventured a bit, and their personal finances are okay, but not exceptional. There is discussion of looking for a magical shield or a weapon with town money, but they pass. They do decide they are going to make a trip to the city. They will sell ore and buy a wagon of flour. They have a few other ideas for things they might purchase, but this is all going to be for personal money. We'll cover anything relevant in the next episode. They are also going to spend 1,000 gold on recruiting. This will be in the form of offering a spiff to some bards for each individual they send to Armitage. Laborers will be okay, but an extra spiff will be awarded, more gold, for business owners and experts. As they are expecting to cash in their unsold diamonds, they are spending the full 5,000 on the town and assigning experts, of course. It's getting a little redundant, but those experts are going to be used for infrastructure and industry. The 5K goes to the mine for new equipment, security for a new watchtower, amenities, we're not going to specify that, agriculture, support for a community vegetable garden, and trade, more development around the market. We'll see how that all turns out in upcoming episodes, because for now, that's it, folks. We're going to need to finish out the posse. I've got one more character description to go. I want to do some general world building for the area around the town. I also think about an episode concerning religion, and all that stuff's going to be, well, it's not strictly eco, but it's related. Aside from Armitage, I need to produce another swamp biome video. I'm not sure why that's so popular, but it is, and I've had requests. Feel free to pile on in the suggestions. This video was pushed to the front of the list by a single comment, so never doubt your power. I'm glad you could all join me today. The world is better off with you in it. Until next time, everyone. Cheers.